Can I thank all members before I move to the front bench? We've had 9 speakers and everyone has been very good with their time. So, Patricia Gibson.
Thank you, Mrs. Vaz, and I would like to add my congratulations to the member for Manchester Withington for bringing forward this important debate. It has been said by many people today that private members' bills perpetuate a deception on the public, and that's something that we really need to think hard about how we're going to address, because we know that people are becoming increasingly disengaged with politics, and this system does nothing to restore that. In fact, it simply adds to it. We know that there's no silver bullet about how we're going to restore trust, how we're going to restore faith and engagement with this place, but we could do something about this to try to help to address that problem, because the outmoded, outdated, convoluted, obfuscatory way that private members' bills are dealt with in this place could potentially restore a little bit of faith in the Westminster parliamentary system. And like my colleagues, I cannot help but look at this system through the prism of the Scottish Parliament. And we look upon it as new MPs, admittedly, but we look upon it with utter bewilderment because it makes no sense. And perhaps, and I throw this out just as a suggestion, but perhaps that partly explains why the people of Scotland feel much greater affinity and much greater ownership of the Scottish Parliament than they do with this place. Because, like the rest of the UK, the people of Scotland are very detached and disengaged from what happens in this place. And there is much that this system could learn from the Scottish Parliament if it is serious about addressing the disengagement that your constituents feel. We've talked today a lot about the NHS reinstatement bill, and I have to say, like my colleagues, and like I suspect the hundreds of thousands of people across the UK who are concerned about this bill and this wider issue, we looked upon the debate and what we could see, there's no point in blaming it on procedure, and that's how it works. We looked upon the response to this debate, and what we saw is what very much appeared to be contempt and disregard for the very important issue that this private members' bill tried to outline. And what it tells us, those of us who were frustrated on that day, and what it tells the public, is that there is little or no opportunity for MPs or groups of MPs to introduce meaningful debate on something that does not have the support of the government. So I ask, where is the balance between the Parliament and the Executive? We watched that day the NHS reinstatement bill with utter despair, because we know that all it takes is 3 or 4 MPs to filibuster, chunter, ramble, obfuscate, to throw the entire measure that the private members' bill tries to tackle into chaos, into the long grass. I will indeed.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Will the Honourable Lady not accept that if any member in the chamber attempts to behave in the way that she has just described, the member would be immediately brought to order by the chair and told to get back to the topic under debate?
Well, I have to say, I sincerely wish that the honourable member was correct, because what I witnessed that day, and I'll tell you what I thought when I admittedly again as a new MP, fresh eyes, all the rest of it, I watched what happened that day. And I said to myself and a couple of my colleagues, if this is the mother of parliaments, God help the others. Because the honourable gentleman was present in the chamber that day, and I know that he knows that there was clear attempts to talk out the NHS reinstatement bill. And that is evidenced by the fact that 17 minutes were allocated to the debate of that bill. And 17 minutes isn't even proper debate.
I'm a London MP, so I don't have the Scotland problem, but even I have found this frustrating. There was one occasion that on one of these frustrating Fridays, I went into a TV studio with a Conservative member from opposite, and I explained what had happened. And he sort of said, you should have known better. That's our hit squad. We send them every Friday. You know, for us as new MPs, the honeymoon should not be over yet, and we're being continually frustrated on Fridays.
I understand exactly the point the honourable lady is making, and I'm afraid the honeymoon was over very quickly in terms of parliamentary procedure. Because what we see and what we saw on that day are shenanigans and parliamentary games that does this place no credit and does our constituents no credit. It matters in the wider sense because the public don't understand the outdated procedures of this place. And why should they understand? I've been here for almost a year. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And I know we're under pressure of time, but what I would say, I'll leave you with this thought. This place is detached from the people that it seeks to represent, and we have to be very, very careful because we are in danger. If we are not already quite there, we are in danger. This place is in danger of becoming an absurd and grotesque carbuncle on the face of the UK. If you seek to represent people, you have to take it seriously and you have to treat debates that are serious and try to do serious things with the respect that they deserve. Our constituents deserve better.